This is the second video where Lloyd explains how Maxwell Chikumbutso's technology works. Lloyd has been able to achieve a system where you can be able to use solar panels at night. This means that you can be able to run your house entirely on solar during the day and at night as well, where your batteries are recharging continuously and as such will never run out of energy. This is why Lloyd believes that Maxwell is running on the same technology. The only difference is Maxwell is running on radio waves while Lloyd is using the light or solar. Using one of the interviews that Maxwell gave some time back, Lloyd is able to break down component to component because in this interview, Maxwell was revealing the type of components that are used in his microsonic energy device. I want you to listen to it and let me know what you think about it.
But I wasn't. So let's clarify. Maxwell's energy does work. So let's answer this question that so many people keep asking me. What have I done? Or why haven't you done this before?
So when energy is generated, it goes to what we call a down converter. The down converter then put...
My name is Lloyd Stoval. Been running Media Library for 30 years. And yes, I've tested these devices over and over, built different types of these devices. I know what I'm talking about. Thank you everybody for all the positive feedback and comments. The guy who I was communicating with saw the videos and he's got my information. That's all I really care about, because it's important that we all know the truth about this type of technology and what he claims, and we're going to go over proof that this technology actually works with a MOSFET. Now, we already know that in his circuits he has a MOSFET, but here's another guy that has MOSFETs. And I'm going to make sure that everybody got the link to watch his videos. And he'll tell you that he gets his work from Nikola Tesla and how he produces this energy he makes from this MOSFETs. And remember, the MOSFET is just a switch. But when you switch it at high speeds, you start to produce amperage. So let's watch all this.
Back and a good look at it. Bifilar earth grounded transformer coil, 2 conductors, wound side.
But as you see in this picture, the same components are being used. So this is what I wanted everybody to know. Let's study the components, duplicate it, and then talk about the results everybody gets. Now, Maxwell himself says that he is not a professional. He didn't get educated, so he doesn't know the terminologies we use in the United States. So you have to interpret and look at the components. If you do this, you can figure out that he's using a battery. If you can't, let's go get what he actually said so you can figure this out.
I'm just really still trying to wrap my head around this. Like radio frequencies to power. Yes. What's the conversion? What happens? How does that work? I have invented what is called a microsonic energy device. 70% in the microsonic energy device. This is the generator. This is the device.
Yes, I know he has an accent, but that's all right. He just said this is the generator. So you have to understanding what is a generator. Something that turns from north to south really fast. That's what MOSFETs do. So when we look at it, you have to ask, how do we go from 1 amp to 5 amps? How does this work? It's old technology. Let's go on.
That harness radio frequency and convert it into direct pure energy. 70% of the components there are tailor-made, are under my name. I'm the person who have designed them according to what I've seen in the spirit and the calculations that I've done. So the excitement that is caused when they are exposed to a radio frequency, those materials, those components materials, the excitement causes them to generate energy. So when energy is generated, it goes to what we call a down converter. The down converter then put it into the DC controller. That process is done with a microcontroller, though it's technical. But
No, not technical. We use these components all the time, and everybody knows what adrenals are. We use these components day and night in the US, but where he comes from, he thinks this is new technology. As you start to see, this technology is using is not only his.
I just want people to understand. So from the DC controller, the current now is sent to the inverter, where it is changed into AC.
Remember, inverters go AC and DC. But let's just look at this inverter, which I use on my own project. This is a DC to DC converter, and this is an inverter. Come on, these are typical.
Current. So when you talk of the frequency of the machine and the voltage of the machine, it is carefully controlled with the computer, the microcontroller. So it is just amazing, because the whole machine, what it does, it is very intelligent. We have combined artificial intelligence. We have combined computer science to make the machine very smart. Yeah, long time to say. And the solar panels, they are more or less.
What did he just say about solar panels? Which I've been using since 2000? Building and running this same components which I've been telling you about for years? Yes, you can look at my videos for years.
Those ranges, but the good thing is that when the machine it is maintained, and the maintenance of the machine, it is very cheaper, because we don't have emissions, we don't have consumables. So right now we have seen that our machines can be serviced 3 times a year, depending on how much energy it is produced, because it is like calendar serviced. So 3 times, we see that on the half a megawatt, we need about $1,500 per each 4 months. This is nothing. Then on the battery side, because our primary source to switch on the machine comes from a battery. Right now we're using.
Now you just heard him say the primary source comes from a battery. If you can't figure out that everything he's doing has already been done, and that the component called a MOSFET is doing everything, because it is the generator. It would take voltage and turns it back into amps. Therefore, the main component is the MOSFETs. But he gets his power from batteries. Let's go on.
Using lithium and batteries, we're talking for about 15 to 20 years. So the technology is just sustainable. Yeah, while it is maintained, you can go for a very longer time.
Let's talk about the issue of failing to file a patent. I think that's a very crucial aspect. Let's talk a bit about it.
Okay, we have got laws. There's a time that I explained on my Facebook page so that people could understand how the laws, the patent laws, work. They are patents which are not patentable.
Okay, you can go back and listen to this over and over again. Once you understand the components in which he's talking about, even with his accent, you'll see that what I'm telling you is absolutely correct. This is Nikola Tesla's work. When you're talking about radio waves, you're talking about Nikola Tesla. And we've been doing this since 2001. These are my controllers that you're looking at now. These are something that we produce from cardboard. And I'll put an image on an incomplete one, so you can understand that we make these, that we've been doing this longer than Maxwell, and that we want to accomplish Nikola Tesla's goal to give free energy to the whole world. But you have to figure out what a MOSFET actually does. Here's that same process in cardboard without the color. Okay, so again, this is controlled by a MOSFET. It's the reason why we gave you the image of the guy called Mal, who actually are doing the same thing, using the same components. He's taking radio waves and he's able to get 80 watts of power out of it if you watch his videos. As you start to see that what Maxwell's doing is not magic, that it's known technology and it's been around for 100 years, then you have to figure out why they didn't want you to know this, because it's free energy. Okay? So if Nikola Tesla patented this, if Nikola's patents didn't go anywhere, if they tell you that his towers are fake and that they give you misinformation about how his towers work, why do you think they're going to give Maxwell a patent? No. This is not something that's unknown. And a lot of people got on my case about I didn't know what I'm talking about. Why didn't I produce this? They were saying a bunch of nonsense that didn't even make sense because they haven't looked at what I created or what I built. They just start accusing me of saying what I wasn't. So let's clarify. Maxwell's energy does work. I'm just telling you how it works. Now, people saying that I'm playing politics, I'm trying to make sure that the poor has this for free. And yes, that's going to make people upset. So I'm sorry, but these terms are over 100 years old and they have been defined. How are they defined? Because you're using recognized components like you see above. That means if he didn't create these components, then he is using something that we already knew about already. Unless he created a component that no one else has, then he is using someone else's work. And MOSFETs, he didn't create MOSFETs. He didn't make them. So therefore, I can tell you how they work and how they function. So I can get it to AI to say it, or I can say it. These circuits produce current, in which other people have recognized that. And I keep breaking it down so you can understand the terms that the United States have been using and producing for many years. They don't understand this because they don't have the same education as we do in the United States. Now, there was a lot of people who made comments who understood what I was saying, and they know what these circuits does. They know when you post something at 50 hertz or 60 hertz, what kind of pulses is occurred. So let's go back to AI and listen for the people who want to create this type of technology. So let's answer this question that so many people keep asking me. What have I done? Or why haven't you done this before? Like they actually knew me for years. So let's go over the books I wrote, which you can see above, and some of my projects that I've worked on for quite so many years, so you can get to know me. Now that you've seen both Maxwell and my MOSFET circuit, which boost current, that means when you put it in a meter like that, it reads on the amps Okay, so that's why you hear me say amps, even though that's incorrect. But we just wanted to show all the stuff that we worked with, the progress we made, and we're going to keep showing you more images so everybody understand this is not something we just started. It's been going on for quite a few years, before 2000, and then we got brave, and now we can show some of this, some of the equipment. Which you see, the blue boxes, is how I can put energy directly back into my house. Now let's go into some books that I've wrote. Okay, so you know the other videos that we covered many of this, so I don't really have to go into details, but you can see from the book covers that I've designed, we experiment with. These are the things that we write about. So you know, I'm just showing a few of our book covers so you understand that we've been doing this for a very long time, and I have actual published scientific papers, so we understand a lot. So this just gives you an idea on the projects we work on and the things we built, and some of the videos, like the one coming up, you see me actually make my own currency, flying cars. Now let's look at the unit in which I built this running my house. This is the full unit. It was a little bit too powerful, so we broke it down into pieces. And since there's solar that stacks like this and sits in your basement and run your house, we didn't need all of them. So what we end up doing is just buying the tie grids and breaking the units down. You'll see that coming up. We broke the unit down, and we only needed part of the unit to run the tie grids, because this thing in its full capacity will, if you see the voltage, blow up a tie grid. But we wanted to show that, and you've already seen the blue boxes, so you've seen the tie grids. And so we started making smaller units just to run single tie grids, which puts that energy directly back into the house. If you don't know what a tie grid is, please look it up and understand how they work. It's plug and play. It's very simple, and you don't have to have all that wires. And that's one thing I wanted everybody to know. We simplified the unit. It's not complicated. That's tangent energy. Let's pause it for a minute. See this bright light that's on? We represent this as tangent energy. It's not really usable in this type of form. That means you tap it, it appears, and then it disappears. But it's a way to harness this energy, which Nikola Tesla talks about. Now, ordinarily, this speaker, which you see in the picture, cannot run those LED lights. That's the reason why when it's tapped, it flashes so fast and then it's gone. Let's watch it again. This is energy not being able to be used. Tap it rapidly and it's usable energy. In this short demonstration, we're going to show you how to use tangible energy. As you see, we took and destroyed a speaker and put a ping pong ball with magnets on it. We're now right here. It's produced from frequency. And Nikola Tesla talked about this. 100 LED lights being lit up from a speaker that people normally say cannot do this. But the difference between voltage and amperage is its frequency. the frequency of shaking voltage or vibrating it produces amps. Thank you. So let's go into the program and get in depth.
If you switch a MOSFET at high speeds, it produces 1. Pulsed current switching power. The MOSFET controls the flow of current at high frequencies, creating rapid on-off pulses in the circuit.